Designer Show. I'm Dan Bauman here, your host, along with John Schrader, and Kyle Hunt is here with us today. For those of you that don't know Kyle Hunt, he runs a business called Remodel Your Marketing. He is one of the premier business coaches in the industry today. And if you want to learn anything about marketing, how to run your business, Kyle's your guy. So, Kyle, I'm just going to turn it over to you and let you introduce yourself a little bit further. Kyle's got a great presentation. I was fortunate to sit on this presentation the other day, and he's going to do a bang-up job. I know he will, because I know Kyle really well. He's a good guy.
What if the presentation I gave earlier in the week was the best I got and I ran out of steam? I mean, it's Friday afternoon.
Nah, not you. You were just getting warmed up. I know you.
Okay.
Yeah, fool.
All right.
You're nobody's fool. Anyway, Kyle, it's all yours. Go ahead, dig into it.
Okay.
We'll be chiming in as we go, and by all means, just let us know if you have any questions.
Sure, and I'd love for the people to share comments as we go too. So as Dan mentioned, I'm Kyle Hunt. I'm up here in the great state of Michigan. Been doing this for about 12 years. I don't know when this premier coach or consultant kind of thing came up, but evidently that is now a label that some people put on me. Sounds fancy.
You earned it, man.
Cool. So I primarily work with remodelers. A lot of my remodelers do design work as well, and focus kind of in three areas: the marketing side of things, which we're going to be digging into today, the sales process side of things. So if you have any questions related to sales process, we can answer those. We'll leave some good Q&A time during this, and then also just the financials. Just in case you're wondering, understanding your financials, Mr. and Mrs. Designer, remodeler, contractor, it's really important.
Financials, what are those?
Yes, very, very important. See, when you go with the three view, I think I get cut off and then I move one way.
There you go. I'll go that view.
There we go.
That's a lot better.
It's a lot less stressful. It's a lot because it's mirrored, right? Have you guys noticed that it's mirrored? So like I know it throws you off.
Yeah.
So today what we're going to dig into is Kyle's marketing top 10 marketing strategies for remodelers. I'll kind of click on and off the presentation, and we'll kind of share screens on the appropriate ones, and then you'll just kind of see us or me as we go. Marketing right now in this time as we've gone through this really normal 2020. Just been a very normal year. This crazy 2020. Part of what I'm seeing out there is, boy, we can't take our foot off the gas when it comes to marketing our businesses. We have got to, in amongst all of the other hats we wear, all of the other responsibilities that we have, we need to be consistent in our marketing efforts. And a lot of times that can get kind of pushed to the side or lower on the priority list. So it's incredibly important that we're always marketing. And the ideas I have for you today are, you're going to see are getting into just the foundation, practical, proven, simple, effective marketing, and probably for the most part, not anything that you've never heard before, which is good, which is okay. There's a lot of fundamental things that we need to execute and that we need to be reminded of. So the other thing that I would kind of mention, and I think this is applicable, Dan and John, for you guys as you're teaching things, as you've been going through this, any time we're consuming content, it is not to just be flooded with more ideas, because there's nobody watching this show that lacks ideas. And if we put that even into marketing, we don't lack marketing ideas. So often what we lack is prioritizing them and implementing them, the implementation. So I would just, I'd like your guys' 2 cents on this, but I would just like to kind of say, the reason you're listening to this, the reason you're consuming content is not just to learn and hear more ideas, but to grab one of them and implement it. Yeah. What do you guys think of that?
Oh my God. Yeah. The implementation. Yeah. We're so flooded with information these days. It's overwhelming. In fact, it gets to a point where it's so overwhelming, the brain shuts down. It's like, oh, well, that's too much. I can't do any of that. So picking out the more important things and focusing on those. And that's what I like about what you're about to talk about is how you talk about that implementation and pick out what's most important and do that first.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I want that one place where you just push the button and it does it.
Oh, the easy button.
You got that one?
Not that you're queuing it up, but at the end, I am going to talk about a little do-it-yourself, done for you program. So I don't know if you are queuing me up like a good.
Actually, I had no idea.
Okay, all
But
right,
that's what I'm looking for, is that one button. You just push the button and it does it.
He's got an easy button.
There's
right.
for part of it.
Okay.
So we'll do it just kind of in a fun way here. A little top 10 list, David Letterman style. I don't know if the comments kind of come in or people are pretty active on that, but I'm sure anybody listening to this, if they want to comment on YouTube or Facebook and where it's at, David Letterman is the greatest late night television talk show host of all time. Would you boys agree with that?
He's right up there in my book.
John?
Yeah, I suppose. I never watched much late night, but of the ones I watch, he's probably right up there. Yeah.
Okay.
I will confess, I used to watch Johnny, and then we'd switch over to David every now and then. But yeah.
Okay. Good. Johnny who?
Johnny Carson.
Oh, is the fact that I'm going Johnny who? Does that age me?
Kyle, you're not old enough.
I know who he is, but I never did watch him live. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. All right, so we will. I've got some fancy technology here.
Oh, not hearing it too well. Oh, there we go.
Well, you heard a little bit of it. We'll see if I can get it going. There was a drum roll because Letterman always had a drum roll. So we're going to start at 10 and go down to 1. And number 10 is going to be track your leads. We're going to kind of cruise through maybe 4 or 5 of them. I'm going to share some ideas, hopefully inspire you guys a little bit, remind you, cause some takeaways and action to happen. We'll stop and get some questions. Hopefully we'll have some questions. And also, I'd love for you guys to share takeaways on the old comments as we go along. You know what? That's a takeaway. That's something I want to implement. So number 10 is track your leads. When I'm working with a contractor, remodeler, designer, and we're talking about marketing, the first thing that I like to go to is, hey, before we talk about marketing strategy, before we talk about all the tactics, can you just show me and let's study and let's analyze where your leads are coming from right now? Where are your leads coming from? And oftentimes, one, they're not being tracked very well. If that's the case for you, if you are not tracking how your leads are finding you, and you can't produce a sheet that says, hey, so far in 2020, I've generated 45 leads, X number from this source, X number from that source, another blah, blah, blah from this source, that should be a takeaway. That is something you need to clean up. What gets measured gets improved. When you're paying attention to where your leads are coming from and you really have some data that you're looking at and that you're tracking, it helps you know where to invest those precious and limited marketing dollars and hard-earned marketing dollars that you have. It helps us realize, you know what, that was not a good ROI, or man, we need to add a little bit more fuel to the fire on that one. That's producing. We need to move maybe some of our budget from here to here. So there's just a lot that you can learn from it. So one of the things that that I would urge you to do is make sure you're tracking them. Make sure you're tracking how did you hear about us. Know how many leads you generated in 2019. Know so far for 2020. And know what your top lead generation sources are. I have a little spreadsheet, and on the next slide or the second to next slide, there's going to be a little number that you could text to get a copy of this spreadsheet. But this is something I call a marketing dashboard report. Nothing too fancy or flashy about it, but it allows you to see how they heard about us. You line up all the different ways that people are, hearing about you. First column, number of leads in the last 12 months. Second column, number of signed jobs in the last 12 months. So not only do we want to generate a list that shows how many leads, but also how many we signed. That will give us our closing percentage by lead source, kind of 3 divided by 8. As we keep going, we're also going to want to put in here the revenue generated by lead source. So out of those 3 sales, in the case of this, how much revenue did we generate? That calculates our average job size. And then the last thing we plug in here is we open up QuickBooks. We look at what we've spent in each of those categories of marketing, and we plug in how many marketing dollars we spent in each of those lead source. That gives us our cost per lead and our cost per job. And I'm telling you, when you actually take the time to organize this, to plug the numbers in, it starts to just tell you stuff and give you data and helps you make decisions. In this case, the cost per lead is how much I spent versus the number of leads I generated. Cost per job is how much I spent divided by the number of signed jobs. Yeah. And this is not a crazy, unusual number, but boy, it goes, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm spending $438 every time I'm generating a lead through that source. All of a sudden you're like, you know what? I'm going to treat that lead a little bit differently. I'm going to do everything I can to work that lead. Any thoughts on that idea of track your leads?
Oh my God.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
If you're using a service like House, where you go on there and you put you're kind of relying on them to get you leads, that's not your only way, but you're using that.
Mm-hmm.
When would you actually consider that a lead?
Yeah.
Just when you got the phone number, or when you actually talk to them?
Yeah. So sometimes on one thing I like to do is I like to keep it simple. So I've always kind of got that percolate in the back of my mind. How can we keep this system? How do we keep this tracking simple? But to your point, especially if you're investing dollars there's another column that you could add to the spreadsheet. That's kind of your just raw total leads. And then the next one, qualified leads. Because if I get 10 leads from House, but it was the number and 8 of those I never even got to talk to the person,
right?
Then, it looks great.
I can do that. I can get their phone number out of the phone book for that.
Right. Yeah. So especially when you have, so I like to just say, keep it simple, because once we add the next column, now we have a new definition. But especially once you get this going, it is not unusual for a lot of my clients to kind of say, you know what, I want to see qualified versus raw for the exact reason you just mentioned, John.
Yeah. Well, I used to track my leads when I was a remodeling contractor. I tracked everything I got. It was a little easier back then because we didn't have the internet. But it's the information, like you're saying, is so damn valuable. I mean, it helps you decide. It helps you, plan where you're going to do your marketing, and I would even track it through my closing ratio. So I would know that, yellow page leads aren't very good, but I'm still going to follow them because, I'll get something out of them. And anyway, it's very valuable, very valuable.
Cool. So if you show my screen again, if you guys want the marketing dashboard, you can even just email me. It's Kyle, Kyle, at remodelyourmarketing.com. Or I have this little text list that I have some fun with. Once a week, I send out a little kind of good reminder, good uplifting quote, good something. And if you respond back to it, we got the ability to just do some one-on-one texting. So if you want, if you just type join to 516-219-9736. I'll respond back with a link to it, or just shoot me an email and I'd be happy to send you guys over that marketing dashboard. Cool. So that was number 10. We'll forego the drum roll, but I'll do a little something. But number nine, know your marketing budget. Know your marketing budget. So I want you guys to open up QuickBooks, to dig into that marketing/advertising line item, or sometimes I'll see on a P&L maybe a few different categories that would compose marketing, advertising, networking, etc. How much did you spend and where did you spend it? I think in our head, we kind of have a hunch, we kind of realize it. And then when we actually look at it, now it brings it to more clarity. So go in there and really study, where am I spending dollars? How many dollars am I spending? And also, it's not a bad time of the year, as I like to do it at the start of the year or just before the start of the year. Let's get an overall marketing budget in place. And the only way that we can get the marketing budget in place is to have an overall business budget. But also here at the 6-month mark that we're coming up to, and also because of all the crazy COVID and pandemic and everything else that's going on, it'd be a really good time to let's reevaluate the second half of our year. What does our overall business budget look like? And within that, what does our marketing budget look like? There's a lot of different ways that we can market. John, you mentioned House. There's just a plethora of different ways. But depending on what our budget is going to dictate some of my advice for people based on, if you only have a certain amount of budget, I'm going to push you this way in your marketing versus, Kyle, we've got a pretty healthy marketing budget. Well, in that case, let's do these two things, but also let's try that out. Depending on what your budget is going to predicate and dictate your marketing plan and the tactics that you're going to be going after. So that's just a good reminder. Know where your leads are coming from, number 10, and then number 9, have a marketing budget. Know what you're spending.
So Joe asked a question: what percentage of your overhead would you consider good for marketing?
The question itself, what percent of your overhead for marketing, I would kind of that I've never heard it worded that way, Joe. I would rather us look at just what percentage of our overall revenue is how I usually look at it, or how it's usually asked to me. Overhead can be, well, we've got this expense up in cost of goods sold. Maybe it's supposed to be down here in our overhead. We might have some cost of goods sold. It's a slippery slope. So I guess I would just tweak the question a little bit, if I could, to just say our overall total income. Is that fair?
Yeah. Percentage of total sales,
Sure.
1%, 2%.
Yeah. So one answer to that is I've been doing marketing in the contracting remodeling world for 12 years. And here I am. I'm not going to give you an exact percentage because I see it all over the board. I have a client that is doing $20 million of residential remodeling that spends $20,000 on his marketing advertising. Go ahead and put the percentage in there. It starts with a point, and then it's got a little bit underneath that. I've got other clients that are spending 7-8% of their overall revenue on marketing. A lot of times those are going to fall into more that home improvement realm of things: windows, siding, roofing, places where you need to be cranking through more and more leads. And actually, if Joe wanted to toss in there what type of business he is, that would be helpful for me to give him some more custom thoughts on it. But if I'm a residential remodeler who's only been in business for 2 years, don't have a lot of previous clients, a lot of repeat and referral business yet, the percentage that I'm going to be spending, especially as a smaller business, is going to be a lot higher than a remodeler who's been in business for 15, 20 years, has a really good base of repeat and referral work. So those are some of the different variables. A couple other touch points. Again, home improvement, you're probably in that 4, 5, 6% range. New construction, you're probably more in that just 1% range. If you're an established remodeler and not looking to grow a lot, you're pretty happy at that million mark, that 1.2 mark, that 1.5 mark. You're going to be around, I see anywhere from like 0.5 to 1.5, not a huge percentage. If I'm a newer remodeler and I want to grow, or if I'm an established remodeler and I'm wanting to grow, you're going to be in that 2, 3, 4, maybe 5% range. So there's a lot of different variables. There's not a hard and fast rule. What I would really like for Joe or for anybody else, let's build the overall business budget. How heavy and how fast are you looking to grow from previous years? And by looking at that and looking at just the dollars that you would have available, that's going to help get to our percentage. Yeah. Is that a fair answer?
Yeah.
Cool.
Kathleen asks, what goes into marketing costs? Professional photographer, outsourcing, social media.
Sure. And I'll add to that.
Please.
Referral. How do you measure the marketing of a referral? Where does marketing stop and following up the lead begin, kind of thing? Because there's still marketing costs when you're getting referrals from people. So how do you measure that? Along with what Kathleen said. Yeah.
So I'll actually hit on referral here in a second because it's one of the items coming up. Okay. Put Kathleen's question back up there. What goes into marketing costs? So definitely professional photographer. That's marketing. Definitely outsource. Social media. Absolutely. Any kind of advertising, marketing dollars. If I have a marketing person, maybe I even have somebody on staff that's wearing the marketing hat. Depending on how their work is divided, I might put a percentage of just their overall salary towards marketing. That's something that I see often done. John, your question related to referrals. Ask me that again, or present that again.
There's marketing cost involved, even though if you're getting referrals. Word of mouth still has marketing costs. So how would you measure that? I mean, you get a phone call from somebody who's already knows you and that kind of thing, but there's still some marketing going on there. Where do you draw the line, and how do you measure that?
Yeah, when it comes to referrals, you'll see here coming up that I like to reward referrals. So if I had a referral that led to a good project and I bought a $150 nice dinner gift certificate for
marketing
them,
costs.
That's definitely marketing.
Right.
So that's where typically I'll see some direct referral type work that goes towards a marketing budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, I love that your audience is asking questions, gentlemen.
Yes. Keep it up, you guys.
Keep them coming, people.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Number 8. What makes you number 8. What makes you different? What makes you different? My thought here, and this is getting a little bit away from that, tracking and know your budget, to a little bit of marketing strategy. If you look talk and act the same as all of your competitors, okay, or let's say just the other person. I'm a homeowner. I'm debating between you and somebody else, and you look, talk, and act the same. Both of you look, talk, and act the same. If I'm a homeowner, John, I'm going to have you answer this one because Dan already knows the answer. If I'm a homeowner and everything looks, talks, and acts the same, how am I going to make my decision?
By price, I suppose.
Right, bingo.
But
ding, 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 ding. Hey,
but I would add another thing.
Please.
If I sound the same as every other person out there, I also might have some other same tendencies that my other competitors don't have or do have, or you know.
Yeah. But so. you nailed it with the price thing, right? And price is a terrible place to compete. There's always someone willing to go out of business sooner than you.
Right.
When you guys are supposed to laugh. You're supposed
to
go, that was funny, Kyle.
We're laughing on the inside, Kyle.
Right? Yeah. You're laughing on the inside. Good. But it's like we can't just cut our prices and think we're going to be prosperous. We need to charge what we need to charge to be profitable, to stand behind our work, to be a solid business going forward, to be able to draw the salary and benefits that we need and that we want for our team. So what that means is we can't look and act and talk the same, because that's a race to the bottom with price. We need to differentiate. We need to build value in what we offer. It's such a huge part of our marketing. What makes us different? What do we do that others don't? How do we build value in our services? And correct me if I'm wrong, are most of the people, who is most of the people watching this? Are they kind of remodelers, builders, contractors who offer design work? Are they just designers? Give me a little bit of context, if you would.
Probably both. I'd say a majority of my clients are generally remodeling contractors with designers on staff. But like Kathleen is an independent designer, and there are other independent designers on here. But yeah, it's a good mix.
Okay, good. So there's so much we can do when it comes to differentiation around the design process, around the fact that we put so much time, energy, and effort into the project up front before anything even gets close to happening, because we know that the design and planning portion of a project is what leads to a project that homeowners enjoy, that is actually a wonderful, stress-free, as much as we can, remodeling process that keeps a project on budget, that keeps a project on schedule. So to spend a little bit of time trying to, that's just one little example of differentiation, to spend time really thinking through what makes us different. Ask your clients, what do we do that others don't? If there was one word that best describes us, what would it be? Start to get some of their feedback. Things like prompt and remarkable communication. A clean job site your family can live around, detailed specifications and a guaranteed budget. So next to that second one, when you start to think about what you do that differentiates yourself, you start hearing from your clients and thinking about what feedback you've gotten in the past, and job site cleanliness is a huge thing, is a big thing. Then you're going to write up a little bit that says a clean job site that your family can live around. And we talk after that about, we put up the floor protection. We put up the zip walls. We have the build clean systems to negate so much of the dust. We clean and sweep at the end of every day. In these times with COVID, we take the extra precautions to make sure that our team and our trade partners and that our clients are safe in the home. That's something that people care about. And if you actually are talking about it, you actually have that as a point of difference that you're writing out. It can be a very nice way for you to build know, like, and trust, and to differentiate yourself. And when you come up with a list of 4 or 5 things, chances are they're not going to be like earth-shattering. I've never heard that before. But anybody else that you're competing against or talking about, chances are they do not have any of this written out. So the thought with this idea is to actually create a document that says our difference at the top. And underneath there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 could be your 5 keys of excellence, like Key Builders and Grand Ledge, Michigan has, your 4-way guarantee, your 5-star promise, your 5-point pledge. And you have those different 5 things. That is a page on your website. That is a page that goes out in the email you send out between the initial phone call and the in-person meeting with a prospect. It's something that you talk about during your sales process. So that is kind of tip number 8 on the marketing top 10 is let's get clear with what our difference is.
Yeah. Answering phone calls, replying to clients, You know, how many times have you heard contractors that don't return calls?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Doug said communication, always answer your phone. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Excellent.
All right.
Should we keep cruising?
Keep cruising, man. You're doing great.
Now, so John, I don't know you as well as Dan. Dan, I know we spent a lot of time together. Hang on, take my screen off. I want to see John's face.
Huh.
John, what do you think so far?
This is good.
You like it?
Yeah.
What's your takeaway so far? John's going to share his takeaway so far, and then we're going to have probably 5 or 6 other people in the comments that are going to say, here's my takeaway so far. I would love that.
Well, I'll preface it with I'm an introvert, so I have to think about things before I put it out there, right? I think the biggest thing is putting out there what's different about us and being conscious about what that is. You know, taking the time and communicating that with your team. It's not enough that I see that as a difference. I have to communicate that to my team.
Yeah, and we have to live that, right? We have to live that out, and we have to show it, and we have to actually do it.
Yep.
Right. But even what you said there, be conscious of it.
Right.
Most everybody listening to this, when I come, or even if you lined up 10 remodelers that I have gotten to know, that I've worked with, especially at the start, I would say that 8 out of 10 have not been conscious about it, have not thought about it, have not put a lot of time into it. And it can really be a great marketing and sales tool to differentiate. We can't look, talk, and act the same.
And if you need a place to start, listen to what your customers are saying. Yeah. The things that they appreciate about you, build on those as your differences.
Because we know that is price on the list of considerations of why people choose a certain remodeler. Yes, it's on the list, but we put it way higher than we should. It's on the list. It's 6, 7, 8 down the list, especially for our ideal clients. There's certain clients that are not your ideal clients that it is number 1. They're not your ideal client, but so many other things are a huge priority of why people go with you or choose you.
Right.
And it is communication. It is excellence in design and development. It is your job site cleanliness. It is delivering the project on schedule, on budget. It's all of these other things. So
yeah.
Cool. Number 7.
All right.
Number 7. Number 7 is secure Google reviews. And I'll just keep this kind of quick and concise. Google is where you need to have reviews. Thought number 1, how many reviews do you have? If you don't know that answer, it means you haven't been paying attention, you haven't been looking. You want reviews on Google. It is more and more, Google is, I'm not an SEO expert, but I do know this, that local listing, your local Google business page, which if you're a business, you have one, continues to be more and more important in Google's eyes. As they continue to try to deliver the best search results, they are weighing the local results that people are doing and your local listing heavier than ever before. And I think it's going to continue to go that route. We need to make sure we have a really solid number of reviews, glowing reviews that are going to help us build know, like, and trust. So a couple things. 1, can you log into your Google business page? If you go to google.com/business, and you log in with whatever Google login you have, you should see your listing at the end of that. If you have not claimed your Google listing, that should be your takeaway from today. I need to go in there and do that. If you go to google.com/business, or another little shortcut, go to getlisted.org and you type in your information, and that kind of walks you through how to claim it and how to get it going. But get in there, update your listing, reply to any reviews that are in there, upload some photos, check your description and keywords, make a post. There's a lot of simple, practical things you need to be doing in there. And then you need to start asking your clients for reviews. If you email me at kyle@remodelyourmarketing.com, kyle@remodelyourmarketing.com, I'll send you a nice email template that you can send out to clients to request a Google review. It's kind of all written up, and you just put your information in there.
So Kyle, I have a quick question off the cuff here.
Yes.
I get tons of calls of companies wanting me to claim my Google business, right? If I do that, if I go do that, will those calls stop?
Oh, yes. Or if you just say, no, they won't. because 98 out of 100 of them are pretending to be Google, but they're technically not, right? There's so much confusion, right? SEO is such a confusing, hard, we do get calls like crazy. Wasn't it nice though for a month there during COVID, it kind of quieted down?
Yeah, I haven't heard of gotten a call.
Yeah, now it's starting to rev back up now.
Yeah.
So no, it will not, John. I apologize. I'd like to be the bearer of good news.
They always say it will.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Just send
Yeah.
the money. Yeah.
Exactly. And the last thought on this number 7 is just, get to work. You can do this. You've got to reach out to your clients, say, hey, this is Kyle here. I was just wondering if you could do me a favor. Did you hear that pause there? Like, just pause.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, a pause is a gift to your listener. It's kind of a sales tool, a sales technique, but we need to, all of us could probably work on, myself included, pausing more.
Yeah.
Because it allows people to hear it and really absorb it. So I was doing that for dramatic effect here of going, you could do this. And I was saying, ask for a favor. Your client's gonna be like, yeah, sure. What do you need? I got a text earlier from past client from a few years ago, and he said, hey, do you have 15 minutes to talk? I have a favor to ask of you. If he would have just said, do I have 15 minutes to talk? It would have been a little different than he had a favor. I'm like, sure, I'd like to help my boy Zach out. What's going on? So I did call him back, and he did need a favor, and I'm going to help him with it. But so you have to ask them, and you have to follow up with them. Go ahead.
Let's say you have a customer that wants to do this for you, wants to write a review for you, but they don't feel like they're good with words, that kind of thing. Can we ask them to just jot down a few thoughts, and then we have either ourselves or somebody else write the review, and they just sign their name to it?
Well, my first thing, if I was in my coaching mode that was like more mean, I'd say, homeowner, that's a bunch of head trash. You will do wonderful at writing it. You can do this. And I would just encourage them. Secondly, you could do that where if somebody came back to me and said, Kyle, I don't know what to write, then yes, what you just described of saying, well, can I just ask you a few questions? I'll write it up as you talk, and then I'll just send this right over to you. You can copy and paste it. Sure. Or somebody that verbally already gave you kind of a testimonial, right, and you write up, the other day you said this to me, da 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 da. Can you copy and paste this in as a Google review? That's certainly kind of a workaround and a little bit of a hack to make it easier. The majority of the people that are not following through, even though they're saying they're happy to leave you a review, is because they've built it up in their head where they want it to be really good, and they're looking at a blank sheet of paper and they're intimidated, and it's just a lot of work.
Right. That's me. That's me.
Yeah. The other way is, like, if they left a review for you on Houzz, or if they sent you a nice email, you exercise that copy and paste. Hey, you left this for me, a year ago on Houzz. We're looking to get some on. Hang on, I'll put Jeff's back up there, but I saw it and it threw me off for a second. But yes, so that absolutely you can do that. Jeff said classic Sandler sales training. I assume that what he's talking about is the pause, perhaps. Jeffrey, you can specify that. Cool.
Remember, we talked about early on the easy button for marketing. Mm-hmm. We need to give our client that easy button sometimes.
It's good.
So whatever it takes to make it super easy for them to do that testimonial.
Yes, indeed.
That'd be cute. That'd be cool. But yeah, yes, the Google account's really, really important.
Okay. Cool. All right. Number 6. Let me keep cruising through these, because it looks like we got a bunch of questions. So I got to get through his content so we can just have fun with the Q&A, which is, and Jeffrey said yes and asking for a favor. Cool. Number 6, create compelling content. Create compelling content. Here's my thought for you on this. We overthink content. So where is this fitting in? This is talking about a marketing plan. Marketing plan, top marketing tip here is we have got to be content creators. It is going to become more and more important each and every year. The content that may have used to kind of sort of work, the more personalized, the more we just document the process. If I'm talking to a bunch of people that have designers and design work, open up a program like Loom, Loom, click the start button, have a design up there, have your little picture right there, and just say, what I wanted to show you in this quick little video is we are working on a kitchen remodel down here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and here's a quick before picture. And what we're doing is, you can see in this little 3D illustration, this 3D design, is we have taken out this wall and opened it up. There's a lot that goes into that, but I wanted to kind of show you how through our design process, a lot of these decisions have been made, and you can really get a feel for what this space is going to look like compared to what it was before. The design process is such a huge part of any project, and we would love to help you with it, right? Document the process, show examples. The other way that I kind of try to get you in the right frame of mind, imagine you are on one of your job sites and have an ideal prospect standing next to you. What are the things on that job site that you would want to tell that prospect about? creative design, what's behind the drywall, the way that you properly flash that window to make it leak proof, all of the little things you do, showing job site cleanliness, process, products, attention to detail. There's so many things that you would point out as you walk through that job site with that ideal prospect. That's what you want to capture, either with a photo, with a little description underneath, with a quick video that says, hey, this is Kyle with Kyle's Remodeling. What I wanted to show you in this quick video is just the way that we approach job site cleanliness. It's crazy important to us, especially in these times, and it's something that our clients really value and appreciate. Here's one example of that. This is our Build Clean system. Document the process. Show off just the little things that you do. That is great content to have on your website, to create as blog posts, to have on social media, and we all need to get better at creating compelling content.
And you think about that too, because you're going to post that stuff online, maybe in YouTube, start your YouTube channel, post it in your blog. Because if a client that you're dealing with is deciding who they're going to use, well, the more content that you can put out there for the client, that's going to help them know, like, and trust you.
Yes. Yeah. And we're doing it right here. If you reached out to Dan or John and said, Dan, share more about you. When Dan gets on the phone with you, or when you actually talk to him, you know his personality, you know his voice, you know his expertise, because you've been watching content. It's about building know, like, and trust. That's what marketing is. Yeah. And you can be doing that in your content, and you need to be doing that. This is becoming just more and more important. And I think we overthink it sometimes. Just document the process. Document the process. Realize that the first couple videos that you take are never going to be seen by anybody, but you're going to practice it and you're going to get better at it. Then you're going to get the courage to post it, and you're going to go, that got a lot more engagement and shares and comments than that little photo I took of that finished beautiful kitchen I did last week. I just need to document the process more. And like what you said, you're showing off. A perfect example is Bob Burnside, Fireside Home Construction. He creates a bunch of these videos. He has an architect that referred him to a homeowner. And he said, hey, Bob, the architect said, hey, Bob, just so you know, I referred these folks to you the other night. They said they watched all of your videos on YouTube. Wow. Bob's sitting there going, they know me. They know my sense of humor. They have seen all of the little things that we do on projects. They understand the detail and the excellence that we do in the field. They're coming to him so much further along in the know, like, and trust building. So we've got to create compelling content. We've got to create content, which, as you practice creating content, will continue to be more compelling.
Yes.
So do you have any feedback on, like, if it's a video content, how long that should be? I mean, some of it's just going to be too long. How long a content piece should you put in for people to consume?
I think it is helpful not to, especially when you're starting out, not to worry about that too much, is one of my answers. Okay. Number two is, if it's good, it can be long. Right. If it's not good, long is not good. Yeah. The other big thing that would probably be more at the heart of what you're asking is, try to make it short. Try to make it 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But the biggest thing is, when you create a video, just focus it on one thing. If you want to show off job site cleanliness and this really cool thing and this cool thing, don't make one 12-minute video that hits on all those different things. Just create a 2-minute video on one simple thing. That's the biggest part of that. And as
if you want to do the 12 things, make 12 videos.
Yes, correct. Okay. Yep. And just keep it simple and document the process. That phrase I think can help, and also the idea of, if I legit had an ideal client that I wanted to get to know my business better, and I was walking them around one of my job sites, what would I point out to them? There's 12 things that I bet you will pop right up front. Cool. Right. Number 5, review and improve the elements that make up your image. I'm going to cruise through this one. I will mention, I'll just go through here. All of the elements that make up your image are either supporting, neutral, or disrupting your overall brand and image that you're wanting to put out there. I will go back to this. This was on my Remodelers community Facebook page. If you go to remodelercommunity.com, it's a free private Facebook group focused on remodelers. It's got like 800 people, and it's just a bunch of really good people and really good conversation.
You let designers in there too, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if they come from the Designer Show with Dan and John.
Yeah.
But this was a post. It was from one of my clients in Virginia, and this is me quoting her, Kyle, I got those job site signs done. I put 2 of them up recently and have gotten 2 leads from them already. And I wrote, hey, if you're reading this, don't overlook simple and practical marketing. Make sure you're knocking out the marketing fundamentals. A job site sign is one example of one of the things that either is supporting, neutral, or disrupting. The job site sign was disrupting in Kathy's business when she wasn't getting it up, wasn't helping build our brand. Or if it's kind of a chintzy, kind of crummy, half crooked, it's probably more like neutral or disrupting. But this is like professional, it looks good, and it's helping and it's supporting her overall brand. So there's a lot of elements that make up your image, from your telephone system to your vehicles and how they look, to your name or logo of your business, to your overall signage. Your employee attitudes go into your brand and image. Your advertising, your website. If your website looks like it was done by your 5th grade niece, that is not supporting the overall image that you're trying to put out there. It's disrupting it. A good thing to do is just kind of think through all of the different elements of your image that kind of make up your brand, and think supportive, neutral, disruptive. And that'll pop up some things of going, I got to clean that up. That doesn't look professional. That's not the image we're trying to put out there. I've got to, if you had a box truck that you don't have lettered at all, it's neutral or disruptive. It's not helping you. You put some nice logos on there, make it look professional. Now all of a sudden it's supportive and supporting. So that's
Unless
number
it's
5.
all rusty, then you put your competition's logo on there.
Exactly. Or if you have just a guy that it's a great carpenter, but he's a really bad driver, maybe you'd put that other company on there too.
I'm going to back up just a second here and
Please.
let's talk about this Newell's comment for a second. It's back to reviews on Houzz and Google. So we got a bad review and wants to know how to get rid of it off of Yelp. And you can't. All right. You do not get reviews removed from social media channels. You probably could, but it costs you a fortune. And it's not going to happen. So the only way you're going to get rid of those reviews is to get more good reviews. So that becomes even more important, because the good reviews will be at the top and it'll push the bad reviews down.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll be there, but if you can outweigh those bad reviews, and make sure you comment all over that review, all the things you did to try to make it right with the client and what happened. Don't badmouth the client. Just say, hey, I tried to do this to make it right, and this, and you got to defend
the story. Give the story from your perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's always 2 sides to a story. So, other than that, I don't know of anything else that you can do with bad reviews.
Yeah. No, you nailed it. One bad review amongst 10 really good ones doesn't look nearly as bad as one bad one and one good one.
Exactly.
And the problem is that the majority of people listening to this only have a small handful of reviews. They're one knucklehead away from making your business look really bad.
Yes,
well, David's talking a little smack about Sandler. You should save $1,900 for one day with Sandler.
all right.
Yeah, I'll add one more thing there though, just because they're talking Sandler, not talking smack about it. But another good Sandler principle is this idea of an upfront contract. When you start a meeting, this is a little sales process, but when you start a meeting, let's say your initial meeting with a client, or when you're presenting your design, it should start out with saying, I have 3 things that I'd like for us to accomplish today. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Just by doing that and you get their agreement to it, you have just created a nice outline and structure for the meeting, and it really helps you stay in control and to lead the meeting. So I just tossed that in there since we've kind of tossed some other things. Cool. So number 4, do 1 B.L.B. per month.
Kyle, what's a B.L.B.?
Oh, well, it's funny you asked there, Dan. B.L.B. stands for breakfast, lunch, or beer. Breakfast, lunch, or beer. So it's just a funny acronym that I had, which just helps us remember, we should be reaching out and getting together for breakfast, lunch, or beer, or in these times, maybe more Zoom than anything, with strategic partners. A strategic partner is anyone who shares the same ideal client as you do. Anyone who shares the same ideal client as you do. If you are a designer, one of the ways that you could be generating design work, correct me if I'm wrong, is if you just straight up do design, is I could be a remodeler who doesn't offer design that could be bringing you leads and opportunities. Is that correct, gentlemen?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. So a strategic partner in that case would be a remodeler. If I'm a remodeler who doesn't offer design or architecture work, a good strategic partner for me could be an architect, could be a designer, both ways. What this is a very unsexy, unglamorous, really basic, fundamental part of the marketing plan that works really well, that is very often overlooked and underutilized.
Yeah.
And to work on, number one, make a list of your strategic partners or people that you would really like to establish a partnership with or a relationship with. Just by creating that list and thinking through that, you're going to maybe have some of your subcontractor trade partners. You're going to have that realtor. You're going to have that architect. You're going to have that your CPA ends up working with a lot of business owners, and a lot of your clients seem to be business people. They might, that even though it's not within our vertical or a normal, maybe one that would pop up there. A high-end landscaper might be another example. So make a list. And as you go through that, you're going to go, they used to refer us a lot. I haven't heard from him in a while. Or, man, it's been 4 months since I've reached out to them. I should reach out to them. You get a list of 10, 12, 14, 16 people on that list, and you just set a goal of doing 1 BLB per month.
Yeah.
That will be a very profitable part of your marketing plan.
Yep. I have a contractor friend in town here that he would host, what did he call them? A wine and something or another, where they do a presentation, how to remodel a bathroom, how to remodel a kitchen.
Yeah.
And they bring in snacks. They'd have a local restaurant come and cater little crackers and sandwiches and stuff. And they got tons and tons of work out of that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the same idea. So whatever you can do to get in front of your clients and cool.
Absolutely. Cool. Number 3 is referral programs. So we touched on this briefly. I'll read this first. Reach out and thank every person, company who refers you. So there's 2 parts to the referral program, or things that you should be proactively doing in this part of your marketing. If somebody refers you and it hasn't turned in anything yet, you should be tripping over yourself to be thanking them. Depending on your relationship with them, that might be you pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, Sally reached out to me and she said that you introduced her. I just wanted to say thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. It could be a quick text. It could be you have a card that says thanks a latte. John, let me know if this is funny or not. It says you put a $10 Starbucks card in there. Good? Corny?
It's creative.
Yeah, maybe corny, but just something fun like that, something little that recognizes and thanks them when they refer you. It is a smart thing to do and a good business practice to do. It will lead to them realizing you appreciate it and will lead to them wanting to refer you more in the future. Now, the second part of this is when that prospect actually signs with you, and it wasn't just a referral for a prospect, but now it's a referral that turned into a client, you should be tripping over yourself to make sure that you are thanking them even further. This could be a $100 dinner gift certificate to Brighton Bar and Grill, a local restaurant. This could be when people send us a referral that turns into a client, we like to thank them by donating $150 to the local charity of their choice. A lot of my clients do that. Feels really good. Or they say, we donate to a local charity. Here's 5 options that people can choose from. We really appreciate it. Or they say, we'll do a dinner gift certificate or a donation. Just keeping this simple. It could be, a nice gift of some sort. Maybe it's a nice gift basket from a local store that you really like. Something, you need to do it. Studies have shown, my experience has shown that when you reward, not in an over-the-top way, but also not in a cheap way, but just a nice gift. When you reward somebody and show your appreciation for a referral, those people are more often going to refer you again in the future. It's just what the studies and experience shows. And
Exactly.
Even if the studies and experience didn't show it, it is a smart business thing to do.
Yeah.
To invest $100, $150 when somebody has introduced you to a really good client.
Yeah.
Really smart thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Okay. Rocking.
All right. we got 12 minutes.
Number two, we're right on pace, boys.
Yep. Cool.
I'm going to cruise through these last 2, and then we'll do some Q&A and go back and look at some of these. Number 2, your website. The thought here is your website something you proudly and happily send prospects to? Is it up to date? Is it helping to differentiate you? Is it helping to explain how you work and what your process is? Can I go to your website, and is it helping just build overall know, like, and trust? Do you have a nice team page that lets me see who you guys are and a little bit about them? Do you have your blog with videos that are showing all of these little things about your process? Is it something that you've put time, energy, and effort into? Your website is the central hub of all of your marketing efforts. Even if somebody refers you, before they reach out to you, chances are they might click on your website, take a look at your website, get to know you better. And we want to make sure that it is representing us well and doing a good job for us. So, if I was talking to somebody and they're like, I don't have a lot of dollars to invest in marketing this year, I'm growing my business, or I just don't have a lot of free dollars right now, and somebody spent, well, I've got X amount, we'll look at some different categories, and we'll make sure we're going to be doing number one of staying in touch with, stealing thunder from number one, making sure we're staying in touch with our previous clients. We're going to make sure we're doing some referral program stuff, but the website is going to float up to near the top of the list. If you don't have a website that's getting ranked, that's not helping convert, generate leads, it's not representing you well, a lot of times that is a place that we need to put some marketing dollars and get that rectified sooner rather than later.
I like how you commented it's a central hub, because really with all of the marketing that you might do in your company, whether it's chuck signs, job signs, brochures, your logo on your shirt, whatever it is, all of that marketing is going to lead to your website. So that it becomes a hub. This Google search, whatever it is, it's going to lead to that. So if you want to make sure you have a good website, so that it is something you can be proud of, and it really tells who you are and what you do.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
Dan, can you put Todd's comment up there quick before we move on?
Okay.
But I just clicked. Did you get?
I know I didn't get it started. We'll have to do that again.
Oh.
Go ahead. Do number one, and then we'll
go back.
No, John's going back.
Oh,
like
all right.
Okay.
All right.
Todd's comment. So I guess my thought about that is maybe the contractor doesn't see the value in design the way that he should. So maybe it'd be up to me to help him see the value of it, so that he's more willing to put it out there.
That's good. Dan, do you have a thought? And then I have a thought.
Buy him a beer.
Pardon?
Buy him a beer.
Buy him a beer. That's something. Todd, the biggest thing I would say is your job is to deliver that contractor value. And anytime we go into a strategic partner relationship, or anytime we are thinking what's in it for us, I think we're approaching it from the wrong angle. If he said he was interested and he's not, buy him a beer and doing a BLB. Reminding, yes, being in touch with him, like John said, is important, but also just how can you help him? How can you serve him? You're on a marketing top 10 list right here, and you're learning some things. Maybe you get a copy of this and say, I was doing some training the other day, and I just heard a really cool idea of how to do this, and I thought that you would also find it valuable. And that's actually providing something of value. Maybe you, how can you provide value to him? And yes, also just keep staying in touch. Yes, maybe an email, but shoot him a text, give him a call. Just say, hey, I was thinking about you today, and I just wanted to call and see how things are going for you. How are you guys coming out of, the global pandemic? Right. And just, re-engage with them. So
but I think the key to what you're saying there is you're doing it to serve him, not to get something from him.
Yes, giver's gain. And
so
if you can,
no expectations about getting anything back from him.
That's a good posture to go from. Lead with that, and that also will open up the door to kind of say, well, it's funny you reached out, because I'm also kind of thinking about, but also just the simple BLB. Todd, don't be frustrated, or don't write him off because he said he was going to do something that hasn't popped up yet. Keep working that relationship. Keep working to build know, like, and trust. How can you provide value to him? And it'll click one day.
He's busy trying to keep his business going.
Yeah.
So
yeah, cool. All right, and the number one, as we had with that drum roll, is we need to stay in touch with our previous clients. Your previous clients, and that list of previous clients, is your most valuable marketing asset. Oh, I said it with drama. It is your most valuable marketing asset. These are people you have already developed a relationship with, know, like, and trust with. I would argue, and it's probably the case, just based on my experience, that when you go back to number 10 and look at where your leads and your revenue has come from, the number one or number two or both is going to be the dollars you put in your bank account this year. Actual dollars is coming from either repeat work from previous clients or referrals from previous clients. And what I see way too often is I did a project with you 2 years ago and I haven't heard squat from you since. That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
It is one of these things that we need to be staying in touch. How do we stay in touch? One, just get your list of 150 clients or however many and commit to calling 3 of them every week. You do that, you'll be able to call 150 over the course of the year. What does that call sound like? Hey, I was just thinking about you today and just wanted to reach out for 2 reasons. 1, to see how you guys are doing, and 2, to see how the job we did for you is holding up. That's it. What's going to come from that is, 1, you're reminding them you're there, you're staying top of mind, you're just building a little bit of know, like, and trust and having a conversation with them, you're being a smart, stinking marketer, and you'll also hear from time to time, it's so funny you called.
Yeah,
We're actually thinking about this bathroom project. We're actually thinking. So we need to stay in touch with them there. And then the other way to do that, and this, John, remember when you were saying, Kyle, is there like a push button, easy button that you could push? Is there anything remotely close to that? Remember that?
Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
If you guys go, Dan, didn't you have like a ticker or something? There it is. bit.ly/remodelers autopilot. So if you go there, you're going to see this thing that I offer, this program that I offer, and you can try it for $1 the first month. It's $125 every month thereafter, but you can try it for $1. And there is a professional, done for you email newsletter, 8 done for you social media posts. And there's also a once a month Ask Kyle Anything 45-minute coaching call for Remodelers Autopilot clients. It's a way to just consistently be staying in touch with your previous clients. And when you do that, you'll be seeing email replies that go, hey, thanks so much for your note. Could just be that. You'll hear thanks so much. We actually are thinking about doing this basement project and we've been meaning to reach out to you. We need to be staying in touch with our previous clients. With everything else you have going on, it's hard to do that. And this is a very affordable, simple way to stay in touch with your previous clients that just works really well. And it's a little program that I offer. And if you click that link, you can learn more about it.
Okay.
John would even say it's as easy as just that. You push a button and bada bing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a nice program that you've got.
Thank you, sir.
So I've seen that, looked into it. So you guys, if you want to get a little bit more information, go there. Kyle's got a short video about how it works. It's a great page. It explains it out exactly. It's affordable. I don't know if you want to talk about prices here, but it's affordable.
$1 the first month.
Yeah. And then,
$125 thereafter.
You can't hire someone to do that for $125.
It's reasonable. And it's it's professionally written, customized to. Yep.
So if you had two clients in the same town, would they have different content?
They'd have Remodelers Autopilot 1 and there'd be Remodelers Autopilot 2. And then beyond 2 in one area, I don't take any more clients after that.
Okay.
So that's the website right here. And
in case anybody was wondering what it looks like underneath my hat, that's what it looks like. There's not much there.
Got sunglasses on. Okay, cool. This is
Time out.
awesome.
Did you say get sunglasses on because of the shine off my bald forehead?
I think that's what I heard him say. Yeah.
I thought so too.
Yeah. You got a problem with
I just poured out everything I've got for the last hour on behalf of you two to make this an excellent show. And then he insults my shiny bald head right at the end.
Oh, yeah. You love it.
That's because he knows you. He knows he can get away with it.
You're proud of it. All right. Let me go back and answer this one quick question with Marty. You got to charge for your plans. Marty, go to my website. Go to chiefexpertsacademy.com. And there's a little handout here. Free plans and estimates are a thing of the past. So go ahead and click on that and subscribe to it. It's a write-up I've done, compiling all sorts of different information over the years. Maybe that'll help you out a little bit. If you want to talk about it, give me a call. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. So you got to be charging for your plans. I mean, I understand you work them in your cost of your jobs. That's another way to do it. But I think it needs to be a visible profit center for your business. Kyle, we're about out of time. What else you want to add?
I want people to type takeaways.
Takeaways.
What did you learn? Put takeaways in the comments. Because it's not, you heard a lot of ideas, but if you can identify one that really jumps out at you, there's a better chance that you're going to actually take action and implement it, which that's kind of what I was really leaning into at the start. So that's a biggie. If you want to hear my podcast, Remodelers on the Rise is my podcast. Remodelerscommunity.com is just a private free Facebook group. Dan inspired me to do the Remodeler show. So this week, Dan and I talked a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, Kyle, I'm doing this weekly show. You should do something like that. And then somehow that turned into me doing a daily Monday through Friday half-hour show for the next 3 weeks. I've committed to 3 weeks of it, and it's been a lot of fun so far. So
you do a great job, man.
Thank you, my friend.
I love your show.
Good. So I'm seeing Google takeaway, ask past clients what makes us stand out from others, the differentiation, get the Google reviews. That's good. Joanne says Remodelers Autopilot, thumbs up.
Be consistent.
Yep. Excellent. Cool.
Yes. Well, I think that's going to do it, unless you guys have a few more questions that you can type in real quick. I think we're going to call it a day. Jeff has a comment here. Name my difference in marketing.
Yep. So get that our difference document created to separate you, and then he liked that thank you as far as when we get a referral. That donate to charity feels good, right? It's kind of like, who wouldn't like that? The only one little wrinkle on it would be, if you just say, well, donate to the charity of your choice, there's a chance that the person could select something that you just don't feel comfortable with or don't stand behind. So some of my client, one, you could roll the dice and chances are it's not going to happen. And two, you could choose, 3 or 4 local charities that they could choose from.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Cool. Couple of quick things. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, or if you're watching us on my website, you can click on the video and go to YouTube, and be sure to like us, that you like the show. That just helps us with our ratings, speaking of SEO and that sort of thing. Yep. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button. And that way we can kind of keep you up to speed with what's going on. So don't forget to text join at text join to 516-219-9736 to get on Kyle's weekly text message, which again, that's really awesome, which reminds me I need to talk to you about how you're doing that.
Okay.
And other than that, you guys, I appreciate you guys being here. Kyle, I'm going to let you have the last word, my friend.
Cool. What is my last word? Go out there and implement. Do something with this. There's a lot. It's hard. You got a lot of hats on. In this day and age, this year, we don't know what's going to happen for the second half of the year. But we do know, on the topic today of marketing, that we need to be marketers. We need to be marketers. If we're business owners, if we're responsible to generate leads, convert leads, we need to be marketers. A lot of times it doesn't come natural. Start implementing. You heard a lot of practical ideas here. Let's get that implementation going. Be inspired to do that. And please reach out to me if you have any questions.
Cool. Thanks, Kyle.
You bet.
We'll catch you next time. Thanks, everyone. This is Dan and John and Kyle signing off. See you guys.
See ya.